Hello, it is Zach with a podcast named Tim here with a very late but much needed review of Mandalorian Chapter 16, the season finale for Season 2. Spoilers, of course, are going to be ahead. Please give a thumbs up and sharing, likes, share, subscribe, all that good stuff for the video. Apologize for being late. Again, there will be spoilers if I haven't already said that. I had a lot of work and life stuff going on that is somewhat cleared, but felt I needed to put my stamp on my thoughts on the season finale of The Mandalorian, again, even if it is a little late. So the episode entitled The Rescue was excellent, as most Mandalorian episodes are. It is, I'll try, you've probably already watched a lot of reviews if you're getting to mine, but this is more just for my own posterity's sake, and just for my own thoughts. So Mando and Fett end up going to collect Bo-Katan, and I'm just going to call her Sasha Banks because I don't know her Mandalorian name, to join them on their journey. We get a really great shot of not only the outside of where her ship is, but also of Mando and Fett entering in to the saloon, if you will, Western motifs. And we get a nice jarring back and forth between Bo-Katan and Fett as far as their ideas of what it is to be a Mandalorian and her opinion of Fett. And she calls him a clone and talks about, he says, I got this armor from my father. She says, you don't deserve it. Don't you mean you're a donor? So we get a lot of interesting back and forth there. But basically, Din not only says that they have the child, but he knows where Moff Gideon is. And of course, Bo-Katan wants the Darksaber, so she is on board. But she does make it very clear throughout this episode, which we'll get into, that she wants to fight Moff Gideon. That's who she wants to take down. So that was just great action there. We also got to see a tornado DDT for my wrestling fans out there on Fett, which was great. And we're basically off. We're on the mission to save Grogu, and it's an action-packed episode. They do a great job of basically the plan is the women of the crew are going to be Fett basically first is chasing them down with the Slave One. They're in a typical spaceship. I should say I've missed something. They did capture Dr. Pershing at the beginning of the episode, who was the clone guy, and he is kind of reluctantly helping them out. I guess he wants to do something to be helpful, but anyway, they have him. They're going to the ship. They're using this Imperial, I think it's called Lambda class. It's the typical one you see officers in the Star Wars movies, and Fett is chasing them down. They get into the ship because it's a fake. Basically, they run right into where the ties are going out. That's a great shot in the way they do that. Once they get in, the four ladies are going to create a diversion, and Mando's going to go save the little man. So they're going to take the bridge. He's going to go save him. But, of course, he has to walk past where the Dark Troopers are. Of course, they activate just in time when he's there. He is able to only fight one originally, and it's a great fight. He gets the crap kicked out of him. So really putting the Dark Troopers over. It's just like repeatedly punching his head into the wall. Luckily, he only had to fight one. He is able to outsmart it. But he does get to to where Grogu is being held. And of course, Mr. Moff Gideon is too smart. He's not on the bridge anymore. He is there. He knows what they're there for. He's there with the child. And he kind of just says, hey, I needed some blood. You can have him. I'm done with him. Of course, this is a trick. Great fight between Moff Gideon and Din, just the two of them going at it. We see, Beskar versus Saber and kind of how those interact. And it's just intense. A lot of intensity, a lot of emotions between the two of them, and that was just great. But, of course, if you know your Star Wars lore, if you are in combat and you lose, and you have the Darksaber, the winner is now Mandalore, a.k.a. leader of the Mandalorian people. So when Din and Moff Gideon show up on the bridge, Bo-Katan is upset because she wanted the Darksaber, and now she can't take it. She did in the Clone Wars, but I'm sure they'll explain that later on, and we'll get to that in another video. But she's upset. She won't take it from Din, so he's Mandalorian. And Moff Gideon's playing into this. He's like prodding them into fighting each other as well. But what's great is the Dark Troopers show up. Din had launched them out into space, and the Dark Troopers show up, and they're about to annihilate everyone. They're breaking down the door, and then one X-wing showed up, and of course, you immediately know what it was. I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, there's no way. They're not going to do it. But they did. They did it. Luke Skywalker showed up, just completely annihilated all the Dark Troopers immediately. And he comes in. Grogu's reacting to him on the screens as he's coming down. And he takes the child. We have a great moment where he tells Din that, he's asking for your permission. And Din takes off his helmet, and we see the two of them have a personal connection directly without that shield and face. So just a great Star Wars moment, and Luke takes off Grogu. Does this mean that Grogu died at the Jedi Temple with Ben Solo when he destroyed it in the Knights of Ren? But who knows? But there is one last thing that ends off the show. Boba Fett and I can't remember her name, Fennec Shand. They go back to Tatooine. Bib Fortuna, a very blown up Bib Fortuna, has taken over Jabba's palace, which is very empty in comparison. But they both take out everyone except for the slave girl. Let her go. He sits on the throne, and maybe we're going to get the Fett crime empire now. Who knows? Excited to see that. I'm sure we'll find out in the book of Boba Fett. I will say, look, obviously the Luke moment is, well, the CGI wasn't great. That's fine. It was amazing. I was glad they were able to keep it under wraps. The show left me with lots of questions. I'm glad with the closure we have. And it was a perfect wrap up to a great show that still leaves you wanting more. I want to know more about the Darksaber and where they're going with that and that reaction. I assume we're gonna now go to Din and Bo-Katan, maybe finding out a way to rebuild Mandalore in some form or fashion. Maybe Din's gonna have an interaction with the armorer now that he has broken some of the code, and we'll see those repercussions. There's just a lot of opportunity for them for where they can take it. And then obviously he promises Grogu that he's going to see him again. But I saw a meme the other day where it was several people in Star Wars who had made promises to see someone again, and it did not end well. So who knows? But I'm excited for where the show's going to go because, and I'm curious to see how long they keep Grogu off of the camera, or if that's just done, if it's done completely, which I'd be shocked about because it's just the marketing aspect of it and the toys it sells. But it was a fantastic show with very few flaws and just perfectly executed. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are fantastic, and I can't wait for season 3, which it sounds like we're going to be waiting for a little bit. But that's okay. I can't wait to see him, and we'll have more Star Wars content coming here soon. Again, probably late in the game to get this up, but life happened, and had to take a few days off of recording some stuff. But we'll have more stuff coming out, and I hope you enjoyed this content. My ramblings, not as focused as usual. Normally I record it right after the episode, but I've had a couple weeks to kind of think about it and get my thoughts together, and it's great. Can't wait for it. So we'll see you next time here on a podcast named Tim.